I guess district-wide, it's just called the advisory program, but at each middle school, if you would ask like a Walnut kid or a Bar kid or a Westridge kid, they would call it Cougar time, Boldak time, or Wildcat time. They'll have it every day for 25 to 30 minutes. They will meet in hopefully a smaller setting than like a normal class like language arts or math, and they'll meet with a group of students every single day and that same teacher every single day. Instead of it being, curriculum focused, it's much more student focused on what they need and to develop that connectedness, but also support them if they need additional help in whatever organization or goal setting or responsible decision making, whatever it may be. Almost every single teacher that is in a middle school at Grand Island Public Schools will teach a Cougar time.
Teachers being able to give feedback to students and students being able to absorb that, reflect on it, but then give feedback themselves. And that's the piece that we try to focus on the most is student voice. Where is it that students are able to actually be heard, validated, and accepted? Because we know in that middle school brain, if you're not feeling heard, you're going to close down. If you're not somehow feeling validated, well then you might just act out. If you're not feeling accepted and you don't have that sense of belonging, then why should you care?
We have really pushed to make sure that this time is set aside for the kids to feel like they have a place, to make sure that they have an adult and they have a small group of peers that they can kind of come to.
Teachers and counselors and administrators kind of got together and reflected on what are the core critical things that we need to focus on at the middle school level. And we kind of came down to 5 focuses. So the first focus, and it kind of breaks it down into days of the week, is just kind of an organization, get your life together day, where they kind of set goals, look at their grades, talk about where they're at. And then after that, it's like a school-centric lesson. So let's say at the school level we need to review wearing your IDs, or if there's a big uptick in failure to follow instruction incidents at the school level, we would fold lessons that would lend itself to help mitigate or address those concerns. After that would be like our top 20 lessons, which is kind of our curriculum, but it's important to point out that that's just one day that we do that, but the teachers do a great job in folding that into all aspects of the school day.
The top 20 are like emotions and like feelings that are like good for you to make you make good decisions.
Top 20 is where you see if you're below the line or above the line, meaning like above the line you're very happy, you're enthusiastic, and then below the line is like you're having a rough day and everything. Miss Schmidt, she was my teacher for a long time. She always asked us like where we're at that moment, and it actually really helped because she also said that about being below the line and sometimes is not very helpful for us, but it's okay to be there, but it's not like for the whole day you can't, you had to like try go above the line.
Then we have our SEL lessons, which touch on a huge variety of topics, from responsible decision making, emotional management, just a huge encompassing thing.
It's the ability to put yourself in another person's place or to see a situation from somebody else's point of view. A lot of us will get sympathy and empathy confused, but they're very different things, so we want to make sure that we can see the difference in them. And the main difference is understanding that point of view, putting yourself in their shoes. So that's what we're going to kind of focus on and see if we can identify that. When you think you know which of these is sympathy, or sorry, which one's empathy, the left or the right, give me a thumbs up. When you think you know which one. So empathy often follows action. Empathy comes first, then action. So a lot of times when we feel empathetic, it pushes us to do something about it because we care more. So empathy often is paired with action.
Flex Friday is the last aspect, which is essentially just being flexible and giving kids what they need, or giving the building what they need to do.
An advisory time is, especially on Flex Fridays, is that ability to say, hey, we hear you. I validate what you're hearing from peers, from teacher, and also, hey, I accept what you're saying. We don't always have to agree with it, but we need to accept that everyone's opinions matter and that everyone's heart and mind matter.
These lessons are generally made for them already. They're provided to the teachers kind of ready to go. So the teacher has an opportunity to come to a class for 30 minutes that's not having to do with their subject, They get to be focused on the kid.
We work really hard in the beginning of the school year to build that community and that family environment. So then when the hard things do come up, the kids have a place and they know, okay, I can go into advisory time, and if I tell somebody that I'm feeling below the line, it's a bad day, I know they're not going to judge me. And we have ways to help each other and like lift each other up and get back into that positive headspace.
Sometimes my teacher says like situations, and then we talk about it and we work through it and how we can make the situation better or how we can become above the line. And sometimes we talk in just like a big group about just anything. It's a good time to communicate with your students, just to like the students, just to and your classmates, to make a more better bond and just to have like the environment a better place to be in.
I have personally found that the above the line, below the line, it has helped them recognize in others, oh, okay, they're not okay, so now I need to try to do something. I've had in the past a couple of kids who have come to me and they're like, hey, we've noticed so-and-so's below the line. Can you go help? So like, even if you're not friends with the person who's struggling, they're able to identify it, and then they are able to either help them themselves or find somebody that will help out.
It helped me understand other people's problems sometimes when I don't see it. Like, they might have a rough day over school or something, they might have a bad grade or something. So I try to like tell them like, you can do better next time.
And I think the magic of it is when the adult models it. So I've found that like, if I tell my students like, hey, I'm not having a good day, I don't really feel the best, they give me a lot of grace. And I'll say like, hey, if I seem like I'm upset, it's not you, I'm just having a bad day. Then you kind of start to see them say it to each other.
The bowl up time has helped me to understand like the people in our classes and to better understand my own like personality and emotions along with everyone else in my class.
Building relationships is as simple as that routine you're providing inside the classroom of, hey, I greeted you at the door, this is what we do every day. That's building that trust piece of a relationship. It's also the component of just having conversations with students every day. As long as you are even a hello or how you doing, some type of interaction with a kid every single day, that's relationship.
There's a lot of research that speaks to having an effective advisory program will improve school climate and school achievement. A lot of times, talking with teachers especially, who are effective at that connection piece in education, a lot of weight comes off kids' shoulders when they come into their Cougar Time classroom because they know that they're not going to be under the microscope for their language arts. They're not going to have to do a math bell ringer right away. They get to come in and just connect as a human being. It's not as tangible as a lot of, the state standardized testing and all that we can see from that, but I think it's super valuable.